Hey guys, Vas here from Aussie Playground and welcome to yet another unboxing. This one is again from Hobby King. Yes, I know I do buy quite a number of Hobby King products. You can see them on either side of me on the bench behind me. Now I did have somebody have a bit of a cheeky go at me on my Facebook page saying that they needed to have, or I needed to have a Hobby King intervention, which I found really funny because yeah, I have bought quite a number of Hobby King products in the past. However, I do want to point out that it's not intentional per se. It's not that I'm on their website looking for the next purchase. I buy what comes out that's new. And recently, only about a week or two ago, they released the SaberTooth. Now the SaberTooth is a 1/8 scale Truggy that is waterproof. Comes as a bind and drive, so you're going to need to buy a remote for it, and obviously you're going to need to buy batteries and charger as well. And it retails for under $250 US for a waterproof 1/8 scale Truggy. Now the only other Truggy that I've had on the show has been my Thunder Tiger ST4, which I've done plenty of videos on. But this guy is being sold under this Basher branding that Hobby King have released recently, and as you can see, we've got the Nitro Circus Basher SCT over here and the Monster Truck Basher over here. This one was released late 2013, and this one was released a couple of months ago as well. And you'll notice behind me I've got the Turnigy 1/16 scale Rally Extreme over there, and there's also the Mission D drift car just over there as well. So I've also had the Turnigy Trooper I sold it about a year ago, but I bought that probably about 18 months ago now. So I've had quite a number of Hobby King products. Not all of them have been success stories. They're always a little bit iffy because you do get what you pay for at the end of the day. And I'm not expecting this guy to be any different. I just hope that it performs within its means. The monster truck that you see here, I've just finished doing the review for it. I'm yet to upload it though, so you're kind of going to see this a little bit out of order. Yeah, I'm really keen to sort of open this guy up. It's only my second Truggy, as I said, and it's waterproof, it's 1/8 scale, and it promises to at least, be a little bit fun. So I'm going to go ahead now and open up the box and see how it all comes packaged up inside. Alrighty, everything's out of the box. What you get is a rear spoiler that you're going to have to mount on yourself. They do give you some stickers to go on it, or you can probably just leave it plain black. Probably won't look bad. There's a couple of screws and some plastic washers for you to mount it onto the Truggy itself. You get a user manual, obviously, and they also give you the stickers to decorate the body as you see fit. And there's also a couple of, there's 4 plastic pieces in the bag. I'm not 100% sure what these are for. I'm assuming they may have something to do with the batteries. They look like they're about the width of a battery, so I'm yet to figure out what they're for. So forgive me, I will get to it at some stage, obviously. The Truggy itself, I'll bring this up nice and close to the camera so you can have a bit of a better look. The body is definitely very wild and loud. I'm not sure if you'd call it a red body or a black body or what color. It just has like 4 different colors and it's kind of random. I guess it kind of fits its name, being a SaberTooth is kind of fitting. The body itself is kind of flimsy. I'm not expecting this guy to last very long. The Basher monster truck that you see here, the body lasted less than 1 run, then a battery pack. That one on the Trooper has actually been pretty good. It definitely feels thicker than this, but the weakness with this guy is that it tends to crack. So you can see that it's got another crack at the front here. This one's due for a new body. This one is actually a brand new body, so don't judge it based on what you see here. I think one of 2 things is going to happen. It's either going to crumble or it's going to crack, just like the short course truck. I may have called it Trooper before. I apologise. So here is the Truggy itself. I'll move over to this side and I'll give you guys a bit of a closer look. Now Hobby King do have some photos of this guy up on their website, so you can browse the site and have a look at the photos they have. But I am going to relay some things back to you here that the photos probably don't show you. Or at least I couldn't see them because I saw the photos just the same as anybody else. First thing I noticed with this guy is suspension. It's very soft. It kind of feels like the oil they've put in here is probably very, very thin. When I bought the short course truck that you see here, I thought it didn't have any oil in it. It turns out it did, but it was kind of like vegetable oil. It really was really thin stuff. I'm assuming they've used something similar in the 1/8 scale Truggy. So I'm not really keen on running it like this, because if I run it like this, I'm not going to take it on any jumps. If you want to see me run it the way that it is, I can do it, but I'm not going to go jumping with it, because it's going to bottom out every single time. Even if a little 2-foot jump, you know, it's just going to bottom out, especially with a couple of heavy batteries in here. It's just inevitable. So I really want to swap out the shock oil first before I even take it out for its first run. So that's number one thing. Now, that's probably one of only 2 negatives that I've found so far. The other negative was I couldn't really tell from the photos on the Hobby King website how the rear shock tower was secured to the Truggy. I just couldn't see exactly how, because the problem I have with Truggys is they have obviously a rear spoiler back here, and it usually connects to the shock tower in some way. And my experience with the ST4 is that every time you land on that rear spoiler, it puts all the pressure on that shock tower. And if the shock tower is not braced in some way, and I believe the MT4 has its little wheelie bar mounted in a similar way, which is why a lot of people tend to put that brace from the front to the rear shock tower to stop this from happening. So what Hobby King have done here on the rear is actually a little bit clever, and I'm a little bit at ease with the rear shock tower now, and I'll explain exactly how they've done it. The wing mount, which is this, actually comes through the shock tower and mounts on the decking up here. Now this decking is reinforced, and by the way, have a look at the thickness of this center drive shaft at the rear here. The front one, you may not be able to see it, but the front one's a pretty standard size. It kind of looks about the same thickness as the dog bones, but the rear one is easily twice as thick. It is incredible. I've never seen a center drive shaft that thick. I'm not sure if it's hollow or not 100% sure, but anyway, the upper deck here, which is actually plastic, has a reinforced kind of beam kind of design going underneath it, so it's quite thick and very strong. Even me trying to press it here, I can feel almost no flex on it. So this mount is mounted onto here, you can see there, and then the shock tower is bolted on from this side to the actual mount. So even when you do get a bit of pressure here, the force is going to this center bit, not so much to the shock tower. So I'm a little bit at ease with the rear shock tower and what they've done here. However, one thing that I wasn't expecting was an issue with the front shock tower, because even on my ST4 I really haven't had too many issues with it. But this one, there's no bracing at all. So it kind of sticks out from about here, and that's it. There's nothing here holding it. So if you do happen to sort of land on the front somehow, I can see this being a little bit of an issue. So I'm not sure how this is going to hold up. I think my rear shock tower is going to be fine. I think the front shock tower, I really need to be very careful not to nose end the Truggy, because chances are I'm going to bend this front shock tower. So that's something to keep in mind. I hope that Hobby King bring out some sort of brace or something that I can adapt to this in some way, similar to what they did to the Nitro Circus Basher. I have done a review for that where I explained my reference here exactly about a brace, so you will see that very soon. I just need to finish editing the review for that, and that'll be up. So that's really the only 2 sort of negatives. Suspension out of the box is not very good, and I'm a little bit worried about the front shock tower. Everything else I'm actually quite impressed with. As I said, it's a brand new chassis. The wiring that they've done here, it is the neatest wiring job I've ever seen on a ready to run. Even my rival, when I got that, the wiring wasn't this neat. I'm really impressed. I mean, it's a little thing. It doesn't really have any influence on performance whatsoever. I'm just impressed that Hobby King have actually done something really good. They've done it nice. So I'm quite happy with that. The ESC is not, apparently, according to the box, is not an 80 amp ESC. It's actually a 100 amp ESC, and it is waterproof. Steering servo is supposed to be waterproof as well, but even though it may be, I don't hold high hopes for it. The steering servo that came on the monster truck was terrible. I swapped it out very soon after I bought the truck because I couldn't stand it. I'm not 100% sure this one is going to be any better, so we'll see how we go. The motor itself, it is, as I look at the box, an 18 something rather. I'll have it up on the screen. I should have memorized that. Hang on, it's here. 1845 kV. Sorry, the sticker's actually on the inside there. It's an 1845 kV, which is a little bit low for a 1/8 scale. I mean, my ST4 had a 2000 kV motor, and some of the other buggies, 1/8 scale buggies and truggies are out there, have 2000, 2200. That's really where they sit. To have something under, 1900 kV, it's kind of rare. My buggy 8 had an 1900 kV motor in it, although that was terrible. Now, again, another good thing they've done here is they have not gone for that clamp style design of motor mount. They've actually got the optional motor mount that I had to buy separately for the monster truck that allows you to use different diameter motors as opposed to being restricted to this 36mm diameter. So again, another good thing that I see on this Truggy. Very impressed with it. Your steering link here that connects from the left and right links is actually aluminium in there as well. I can see big ball bearings all the way around. I've also noticed that the A-arms are exactly the same as those on the monster truck, so you got interchangeable parts. If the A-arms are the same, it means that the links are the same, so already you're going to have spare parts available. You just have to look under the monster truck listing of parts and you'll find there. And that also means you're going to find aluminium upgrades for your bearing carriers and your turnbuckles as well. So that is a very good thing. Traditional battery tray is found on the Basher Short Course truck, as well as the Basher monster truck there and the Turnigy Trooper. So it's this traditional sort of thing that Hobby King have had that for a long time. What I've seen a lot of people do is actually do away with these straps that you've got here, which are secured in place by some body pins, and they've actually put Velcro, which I'm actually planning to do myself. I think that's a brilliant idea. Another good thing, the tires and the rubber compound. The tires, I will say, the tread on the tires does look a little bit small, but the rubber compound actually feels very, very decent. I'm actually quite impressed. It feels a little bit firmer than my ST4 did. The walls on the tires themselves actually don't feel very tall at all. My ST4 actually had bigger walls, which caused the tires to balloon like crazy. These ones here tend to sit a little bit flatter. And I'm very impressed with the foam inserts in them. You can probably hear that. There's obviously a hole in the wheel. Yeah, I'm actually really impressed with the tires and the wheels, the rubber compound. The foam inserts feel really good. The A-arms, it comes equipped with front and rear sway bars already pre-installed. The links and dog bones, probably the same, as I said, as the monster truck that you see there. And I haven't had any issues with those, so that looks very, very promising. It does have a tiny little bumper at the front here, which is pretty traditional for a Truggy. It's got a really beefy center drive shaft, as I showed you before. There's really not a lot of negatives to pick on here. I think the only thing I'm not happy with is the suspension out of the box and how this front shock tower is actually going to hold up. Everything else, I gotta say, I'm actually really impressed. Yeah, the body is kind of questionable, but then again, ready to run bodies tend to be, unfortunately. I think, before I put this back, I'll just run my eyes over it. Obviously, you would have seen it comes with a built-in fan. I believe it runs Mod 1 pinion gears, or gearing, of course. Has 3 diffs. I believe the stock pinion is a 15 tooth. You can check Hobby King website and double check on that one if you like. There is one more thing that I almost forgot that I'm really, really happy to see on this Truggy, and that's preload screws, or droop screws as some people call them, on the A-arms. I don't think you're going to be able to see them. Oh, you might, but they are just at the end of my finger there. On all 4 A-arms there's already droop screws pre-installed, which is fantastic. Very happy. I think this is actually, you know, it's promising to be a decent Truggy. I don't know, what do you guys think? Do you think it's going to hold up okay? Or do you think this is going to be the RC from hell? I'm actually quite impressed, holding it in my hands, seeing the size of it, the shocks and everything else. I mean, the shock bodies themselves are probably the same as what's on the monster truck. The only difference is going to be your shock shafts are going to be shorter, hence the lower stance. So I think this is actually going to hold up okay, and it's, as I said, the only thing I'm worried about is that front shock tower, so we'll see how we go. But I think I'll leave it here. If I can put this guy very quickly back in its place. I think I'm going to leave it here. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you guys got a little bit of information about the new Basher SaberTooth 1/8 scale Truggy from Hobby King. If you like this video, please be sure to hit the like button before you go. Don't forget to check the video description for a link to my Facebook page, which will keep you a couple of steps ahead of what goes on here on YouTube. Thanks again for watching, and I'll speak to you guys again soon. Hey guys, it's Vas here from Aussie Playground, and welcome to yet another unboxing from yet Hey guys, Vas here from Aussie Playground, and welcome to yet another unboxing from yet another, damn it. Alright, so everything's out of the box now. I was just mounting the rear spoiler and putting the stickers on the Truggy. When I was about to mount the rear spoiler, this is what I found came included to mount the spoiler on. These are the screws that Hobby King supplied. I'm hoping you guys can see that okay. Can you see the different types of heads that they've included there on the screws? So they're both Phillips heads, but one is kind of designed to be countersunk. The other one sort of sticks out proud. So I just found that funny. I thought I'd share that with you. These are the screws that came in this bag to mount the spoiler on. Whilst I'm doing this, I might as well show you very quickly what the finished product looks like. I decided not to put the stickers on the spoiler. I kind of figured that the body is loud enough as it is, and I kind of like the stealthy look with the black rims, the black spoiler. Kind of matches and looks good. So that's pretty much the finished product. That's what it looks like now. Yeah, that's it. Stay tuned for the running video, guys. Thanks again for watching.